prospects look grim in Hong Kong when freedoms are taken away. Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam presented her annual report to Chinese state leader through video conference this past Wednesday. President Xi Jinping commented on it and expressed sympathy to the Hong Kong officials who are under U.S. sanctions imposed by the former Trump administration. Sad to say, though the report is written for the big boss in Beijing, few people in Hong Kong would pay special attention to it, since we do not see a future for Hong Kong with our freedoms deprived, our voices silenced, and the national security law imposed in July last year. Hong Kongers have tried different ways to express our demand for universal suffrage. One person, one vote in election without pre-screening, but all efforts have failed. And there seems to be no way to resist the unjust government and restore the glory of Hong Kong as an international city. Further, it was indeed disturbing that during the video conference, Liu Huining, director of the Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in Hong Kong, sat stone-faced next to Carrie Lam throughout, acting like a disciplinary master to the chief executive and also to Hong Kong people. Netizens commented that the CE was held hostage and made her confession to the Beijing bosses who are in charge. She will continue to sell her soul in order to keep her job. The reality is Hong Kong will never be the same, as thousands of Hong Kongers are expected to leave for the United Kingdom, and those leaving for the other Five Eyes countries, Canada, United States, New Zealand, and Australia, will be in great number, a 21st century exile to escape from tyranny. Simply put, the core values of Hong Kong people are different from those of mainland Chinese. Our ideologies are just too different. The masters up north shall not perpetually false label Hong Kong people as being unpatriotic towards the motherland, when in fact we are facing a unique ethnic cleansing process. Beijing's treatment of Hong Kong falls in line with that of Xinjiang and Tibet, namely, more suppression and crackdown on human rights, restricting freedom of speech, expression, and assembly. For the sake of maintaining full control, the totalitarian state is ready to sacrifice Hong Kong and has decided to give up on Hong Kong people. A brutal and unethical restart process is underway. Beijing has failed to win the hearts and change the mind of Hong Kong people. Under the current situation, if the pro-Beijing loyalists and technocrats in Hong Kong still have a little mercy and conscience, they should stop playing politics with those people who want to flee the city. Money flowing out of Hong Kong and the orchestrated retribution of citizens who took part in peaceful demonstrations over the past few years are the main concerns for Hong Kongers before the city is in quasi-shutdown mode, politically. No one in the free world should turn a blind eye to that. Hong Kong is on SOS mode. Since the promulgation of NSO, the totalitarian regime is using Hong Kongers as hostages. Bank accounts are frozen arbitrarily. All entries and exits could potentially be denied. Nevertheless, application for the British National Overseas Visa will be accepted from January 31st onwards, and the scheme will give potentially 5.4 million Hong Kong people the right of abode in the United Kingdom. Beijing doesn't like the idea, and fierce retaliation from the Chinese Communist Party is expected. The imminent countermeasures will make lives even more miserable for Hong Kong people. International businesses will keep wondering, is it still worthy to invest in Hong Kong when a one country, two systems principle exists on paper only, and Beijing has determined to radically change the DNA of Hong Kong, making it almost totally unrecognizable. What else can be done to lessen the pain for people who still want to stay and to maintain the credibility and integrity of the Hong Kong system so that the international community can believe that the city is still functioning? No, nothing like before. I really don't have an answer now. When I see that people in this city have to live in fear and shutting down venues and confiscation of assets become the new normal. Hong Kong is now barred from normal operation until the political purge is thoroughly completed. The definition of unlawful assembly is now used arbitrarily by the police, and it is extremely worrisome to see no more opposition voices in Hong Kong. If Hong Kong has true democracy and people living in this city can have genuine autonomy, having a national security law might not be an issue. Under the broad definition of national security, they effectively prevent, stop, and punish acts and activities to split the country, subvert state power, provision, gives the totalitarian regime excuses to criminalize citizens of Hong Kong and deprive them of any rights and freedom of expression.